England Public Media on WGBY Springfield.
American Masters spotlights a bromance for the ages.
Isn't he cute?
From their early beginnings
I wanted to impress Groucho any way I could.
to those late night swoons.
Oh, Lydia, say, have you met Lydia?
Discover their enduring friendship through rare clips and interviews.
Do you think we have him in the palm of our hand?
I think so, yes.
See Groucho and Cabot
And then the dream began.
on American Masters.
Meet Groucho and Cabot Tuesday at 8 on NEPM. Connecting Point on NEPM is brought to you by Berkshire Museum, presenting Winter Festival Solstice Celebration, featuring Santa classics by Philadelphia-based artist Ed Wheeler and Hoots Holiday, an immersive Berkshire storybook experience. More information at berkshiremuseum.org.
Coming up, we're here at Old Sturbridge Village to celebrate the holidays by connecting you with the creativity and culture in your community, including festivities inspired by a bygone era.
So in the 1840s, we start to get some of those Christmas carols over here as we start to see Queen Victoria and Prince Albert celebrating Christmas.
We'll go in search of Santa at the Berkshire Museum.
He's taking a little bit of a different tack, not really replacing a character in the scene, but just kind of dressing it up a little bit for the holidays.
And we'll travel to Great Barrington to find the perfect Christmas tree.
The Charlie Brown trees, I get the ones that the deer rub off half of it. And that's my tree, that's my perfect tree, I love it.
Join us for those stories and more as we explore the creativity, culture, and community that make us Western New England. Up next on Connecting Point.
Support for Connecting Point is provided by our contributing viewers.
Welcome, and thanks for joining us for a special holiday episode of Connecting Point, your source for creativity, culture, and community. I'm Saidalis Bauer. Today, we're coming to you from historic Old Sturbridge Village. Known far and wide throughout the region and the country, it's the largest living museum in New England, where history comes to life for thousands of visitors every year. Reese Simmons spoke with me about the village's history and mission.
Old Sturbridge Village opened up in 1946, and what we do here is we tell the story of the 1830s. And how we do that is through everyday life. Everyday life is just the crux of the museum. So what we do is we try to tell the story through the interpretation of households, the interpretation of trade shops, the interpretations of businesses like a bank, a lawyer's office, or the Bullard Tavern, which we're outside right now. And then the meeting house in the back is a civic and religious center for the community as well. So what we try to do here at Old Sturbridge Village is really tell the history through the act of participating in an active household, active trade shops, active gardens, and active farm program.
The village is a special place at any time of year, but even more so during the holidays. Every holiday season here at Old Sturbridge Village, visitors are invited to experience the magic of a candlelit New England township while learning the history of today's Christmas traditions. The 200-acre campus is decorated for the season with a Christmas tree trail, a horse-drawn carry-all, and a nightly tree lighting ceremony. Producer Dave Frazier experienced Christmas by candlelight earlier this month before the snow fell and shares this story.
So our Christmas by Candlelight program has been a wonderful opportunity for us, and we started back in the early 2000s, and it's definitely grown and evolved over the last, say, 22 years. And now we celebrate by welcoming in almost 30,000 visitors each and every year. And one of the great things that we've been able to do is become part of families' traditions, coming here and exploring the museum all decorated.
3, 2, 1.
Christmas by Candlelight here is really unlike anything else we do because we can't tell the story of 1830s Christmas. It wasn't here yet. So we get to expand our story a little bit and talk about how Christmas did develop through the 19th century in New England. So we get to talk a little bit more big picture, share how some of the traditions came into this area, share about some of the cultures that they came from and the traditions we adopted into our own celebrations, and share a bit about how it became the huge event that we know today.
So I'm making a modern twist on a classic recipe. This is a sugar cookie dough. It's quite cold right now, just the way we like it. And we're going to be filling our sugar cookies with that mincemeat pie filling mixture. And this is a really nice way to modernize a historic recipe. Usually there's a Christmas meal or a Thanksgiving meal, depending on the family, and pies are part of that meal. So we don't do desserts as a separate affair, but we will have roast and sides to go along with, and we're eating that whole meal in the middle of the day rather than in the evening.
So a lot of the work is being done with very simple tools. So we're working with knives and hand drills and things that are very commonly available. We have wooden game boards. Games like Nine Man's Morris is a popular game in the period. It's not as familiar today as it was back then. We have a cup and ball game where you have a ball on a string and you catch it in a carved wooden cup. Wooden items like farm animals that would have been popular here in a rural community because parents are farmers. So toys that children can emulate what their parents do would have been popular.
Music in the 1830s would have been what you were hearing every day. There were no set Christmas carols that you'd be hearing at this time. You'd be hearing a lot of parlor type music in this era. You're really hitting that epitome of the parlor music that we know today. So you might have sing-alongs around a piano like the one behind me. You might have a live musician playing some music for an event. Religious music was a little different at the time, so I wouldn't go as far to say that all of the carols were being performed in that setting, but we do know It Came Upon a Midnight Clear, which is one of our Massachusetts Christmas carols, was written by a pastor in Wayland, Massachusetts. It came upon the midnight. So we go through a very drastic change in the 1840s because we start to see Queen Victoria and Prince Albert celebrating Christmas. So in the 1840s, we start to get some of those Christmas carols over here. We start getting some of our own Massachusetts written Christmas carols. And then by the 1850s, you're really starting to get more of an influx of specifically holiday music in this area. Peace on the earth, goodwill to men, from heaven's all gracious King. The world in solemn stillness left to hear the angels sing.
See what's happening behind the scenes on our Instagram. Follow us at CP on NEPM for exclusive sneak peeks and content all year round, including a special reveal of our team's favorite holiday movies this week. The holiday season is in full swing at the Berkshire Museum in Pittsfield with the opening of their Winter Festival Solstice Celebration exhibits. These exhibitions are a reimagining of the museum's Festival of Trees and include Santa Classics, where visitors can see Santa in some famous classical works of art, as well as Hoot's Holiday, a solstice tale, which goes on a journey through the historic Berkshires. I visited the museum and spoke with organizers of the exhibits to learn more. And full disclosure, the Berkshire Museum is a financial supporter of New England Public Media.
We always love Festival of Trees at the Berkshire Museum, and we thought, how do we take the next step and make it a little more inclusive, a little more welcoming for everyone who visited us here? And we thought, what are the experiences everybody has and everybody could share? And we thought stories, the nature and the outdoors, and food and music, and we wanted to craft an experience around that.
So one of the exhibits that is included in this celebration is Hoot's Holiday, which we are in the middle of right now. And Charlie, I know that this idea fully came from you. You wrote the whole thing. Walk me through how this tale was born and how the idea came about.
It kind of came about as a really collaborative idea between me and our previous chief experience officer. And we were just talking about how to utilize the rooms that we have in these galleries to make like a really immersive experience. The story kind of hinges on this owl that lives on the top of the museum named Hoot, and they travel throughout the Berkshires through different times in history. And kind of driving the story is this idea of the winter solstice. So they have this magical pocket watch, and so time is a big driving factor, and also the moon is seen throughout the whole experience, rising up and getting bigger and bigger. And then that kind of culminates in our really awesome moon installation by the artist Luke Jerram. It's this 10-foot diameter internally lit moon that you kind of come around the corner from the gallery, and it just really wows you.
It's described as a living storybook, and as soon as I walked in, I was like, I see exactly why, because you feel like you're walking inside of a book. Elaborate a little bit more on some of the historic locations that visitors will go on with Hoot the Owl, and some fun facts that we'll get to learn about the Berkshires.
One of my favorite locations that Hoot visits is a workshop where we talk about the Pittsfield elm, which was this massive tree that stood in the main square of Pittsfield. I really like that story because it kind of touches on the way that nature has shaped the Berkshires and how it was an important part of the community even after it fell. We have a parlor room that belonged to Zenas Crane, the founder of the museum, and we thought it was important to talk about our own history and how we have really tried to bring natural history, science, and art into the Berkshires, and we wanted to acknowledge how we've gotten to this place today.
So the second part of this exhibition, honestly, it made me laugh when I saw it. It's called Santa Classics, and you will see Santa pop up in some famous classic works of art. Well, can you tell me a little bit about the artist Ed Wheeler and his work and how you guys came to be with this exhibit?
Right, Ed Wheeler is a pretty fantastic artist. He has some local connections that we met, and his work really is, as you said, inserting digital images of himself as Santa in these various classical works of art. He goes through a bit of an extensive and varied process to select which works and how exactly Santa is being inserted in. But really, he I think is just trying to promote the whimsy and fun that is so important to the season.
I think when I was looking through it, the Vitruvian Man from Leonardo da Vinci, that one stuck out to me. I don't know why it made me laugh. I think it was like the contrast of, you know, the neutral color with the red and white. What are some of your favorites from Santa Classics?
I really love the American Gothic, which we have above the fireplace. I think it looks great up there. The expression that he has is really funny.
I really like the Van Gogh Starry Night. He's taking a little bit of a different tack, not really replacing a character in the scene, but just kind of dressing it up a little bit for the holidays.
What would you like visitors to leave with once they have taken Hoot's journey and had a couple laughs viewing Santa Classics?
I hope that when people come, they leave with this kind of excitement for the holidays, and especially for the holidays in the Berkshires. Just having that really local focus, I think was really important for us, and just capturing the feeling of this great time to be in Pittsfield right now.
Every week, Connecting Point explores the creativity, culture, and community that make us Western New England, but it doesn't stop there. You can find us online anytime for exclusive features and content. And in this week's digital exclusive, we explore the holiday Yuletide Festival at Sturbridge Village Museum in West Springfield.
We talk about St. Nicholas and what he really looked like. There were a lot of dark figures connected to St. Nicholas, and depending on the culture, that looked different. Belsnickel is one that comes to mind, and he was kind of the dark side of Christmas in the German tradition, that he would go around prior to Christmas and identify the naughty children.
You can find that digital exclusive online right now at nepm.org/connectingpoint. Finding just the right Christmas tree isn't always the easiest task, but when it's done with the whole family, it can be a memorable experience. Adding an extra layer of fun is the chance to actually go out into the field and cut down your own. At Seekonk Tree Farm, the last chance for folks to have their own tree cutting adventure was the second week of December, and Connecting Point's Brian Sullivan traveled to Great Barrington to bring us the story.
The time-honored tradition of a family heading out to the wilderness to cut down their own Christmas tree seems like the kind of thing that was likely immortalized in a Norman Rockwell painting. Well, what better place to find life imitating art than in the next town over from Rockwell's hometown of Stockbridge, Massachusetts. This is the outer edge of Great Barrington, and if there's a vehicle traveling down Seekonk Road on this cool, crisp, and sunny Saturday, there's a good chance it's heading to either lot number 1 or lot number 3 of the Seekonk Tree Farm. It was here on lot 3 that the original seeds of this family business dream were first planted back in 1978. And every morning that Peter Sweet Sr. gets to wake up to this view, he can rest assured that he picked the right spot.
I was fortunate enough to know the original owners of the property, which was a 250-acre farm, and I was friends with the children. And eventually I ended up being able to buy the first piece of property from the mother that owned the farm. And it's just a beautiful area. I mean, it's lucky to have it.
As for finding the right tree, the care, precision, and scrutiny that are applied in the process might only be rivaled by that of purchasing a new car or house. Making the task even more difficult is the sheer volume of trees to choose from, whether freestanding or pre-cut.
This lot here, we have 7 acres. There's about 9,000 trees on this lot when it's fully planted in all different stages. Then we have probably about 22 to 25 total in production. Lot 3 is another 7-acre parcel. And lot 2, which is currently closed, is another 7 acres. And then we have some neighbors' land that we use here and there. So it's about 30 to 40,000 trees in production.
For people looking for only pre-cut trees, lot 1 was the place to be. There's also the recently constructed gift shop here, which has been a popular attraction since it was built in 2020. But for folks looking to get out there and cut their own, lot 3 was the destination. For younger brother Chris Sweet, who takes time away from his own tree business just a mile up the road to help out here, every year feels like a homecoming of sorts.
Well, it's a lot of fun to see people once a year come in. They're always happy, they're always cheerful. It's definitely a family experience. We also do that at my lot, at lot 2. And this morning I ran into a guy who's been coming for about 25 years. And I recognized him immediately, he recognized me, he's like, hey, we're back, you know? So it's definitely a nice family package experience.
It almost seems like a better idea to pick the tree from a distance first before heading into the field, because it's easy for people to lose sight of what they're looking at when they're walking through what may feel like endless rows of Fraser firs, Canaan firs, concolor firs, and even white pine. But maybe people aren't even looking for the perfect tree, just the perfect tree for them.
There aren't too many among us who at one point in time didn't get stuck with what they call the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. And in a place like this where folks actually get to pick their own, they're kind of hard to come by. But believe it or not, there are still some people who prefer that unusually shaped tree.
I personally like the Charlie Brown trees. You know, I get the one so that the deer rub off half of it. And you know, that's my tree, that's my perfect tree. I love it. And you know, you make it look good. So I kind of tell them, if one speaks to you, you get it. I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, nothing's perfect. Just find the one you like, set it up. The second you decorate it, it's going to be beautiful in your eyes anyway.
The whole event seems to be a fun family experience, but maybe for none more than the family that made it all possible. Peter Sweet Sr. likes to think that since 1978, he's put this operation together like the old Johnny Cash song, one piece at a time. Now, with all his family still so close by, he gets to see the fruits of his labor being managed by a third generation. And when asked if he would have it any other way, the answer was quick.
No, I enjoy every bit of it. I mean, you know, I have friends who are their children are all over the country. And here we are living here, my wife and I, and the one son is on some of the property that had initially, the other one's up the road 1 mile, and that's wonderful. All their family is a tight-knit family, and they're all together.
And if you enjoyed that story, you can find more online as Seekonk Tree Farm owner Peter Sweet Sr. talks about his time as the local shop teacher and what it's like seeing so many of his former students all these years later in a digital extra.
You know, over the years, I've probably seen 3,500 students, and some of my students in their 50s, 60s now, so I'm dealing with a couple of generations of students from that.
That digital extra is available online at nepm.org/connectingpoint. There is a well-kept secret in Westfield, Massachusetts. It's a troupe called Small Planet Dancers who perform different historical and cultural dances. And as part of the celebration of the holidays in December, the company presented Wassail, a Victorian holiday. Throughout the program, Hanukkah, Christmas, and the New Year were celebrated in different locations in Western Massachusetts. Connecting Point's Johan Rashi Vega spoke with the choreographer and artistic director to learn more about the company and the way that history and entertainment can be shared through dance, music, and community.
I've always enjoyed history, and dance is a passion of mine. And when we started to put together programs many years ago, I decided that I wanted them to be educational programs so that they would be not only entertainment, but also serve a purpose. So I started off developing programs in certain genres, so that we might go out and teach about Celtic history, or might go out and teach about Middle Eastern dancing. We also got into historical periods. So we started off with World War II and World War I. From there, I expanded out and said, well, let's incorporate things that are also period pieces. And that's how the concept of Wassail came up.
And this particular piece, Wassail, is also intended to be participatory for the audience to join and become part of the experience, right?
That's correct. We try to do that at all of our events so that the audience can participate either in some form of a back and forth communication of reading, or in this particular program, there's something called the Grand March that used to start off every special dance event during the Victorian period. It's a very, very simple progression of geometric routines. And what we do is we do it in the opening. We call it the Nutcracker March, and we use some music from the Nutcracker to start off a nice march. And then at the end of the event, we invite the audience up to participate. And they join us in that performance. So that's one way that they are members of our experience. We also have sing-alongs. So we've taken pieces of music from the Victorian time that would have been popular, so that the audience can participate in those. And they're popular songs that they would know, things like Jingle Bells was popular in Victorian time, and Wassail. We'll have the word sheets printed out for them, and they can join in anytime. We also do a little bit of a parlor game. We have a poem that we read back and forth at the end to welcome in the new year. So we've discovered that audiences like to participate. They like to come, they like to interact with the performers, and this is a great way to do it.
When we talk about the description of these pieces, and the work that you do is talking about culture, history, representation, dance, music, but there is another element that I would like to hear more about. It is all the dressings. The work on finding the right attires for the times and periods and places that you are bringing through the different dances, how the element of the dressing comes to the work that you're doing.
We try to be very accurate in what we portray. So if we're doing something like World War II, we actually buy costumes that represent World War II, for example. We'll go out and we will go on eBay and we'll go to different places to get uniforms and really try and do that. For the Victorian pieces, we bought reproduction types of patterns. The only thing that we do is we modify them. We have zippers simply because it's easier to get in and out of. But other than that, we're very, very accurate. For example, for the Civil War period, we make sure that our costuming doesn't have fine brocades or fancy silks, because during the Civil War, we didn't have those fabrics in the United States. That was a 5-year period where people were really suffering. So they would have used calicos. So we make sure that our Civil War period costumes are very much of that element, so that they would have hoop skirts as they would have worn, but they wouldn't be fine, fancy fabrics. They'd be simple cottons.
So Small Planet Dancers is based in Westfield, and it's been around for a while, and yet is possibly for many still something that they don't know is there. So what's the history of Small Planet Dancers, and how can people get to know more about this work and maybe getting involved?
The nice thing about Small Planet Dancers is all the people that perform with us are ones that are not professional dancers. We are a volunteer group. We're community-based. We're based in Westfield, but as far as people coming in, we've had people that are members of the troupe that come in from Munson, from northern Massachusetts, as I said, Agawam, Westfield, northern Connecticut, because it's a unique organization. It is all volunteer. I teach everybody the routines, so you can come totally with no experience at all, and no dancer left behind is my motto. So we will bring you along with us and incorporate you into the dances, and we feel it gives a lot of people an opportunity that otherwise might consider themselves too old to perhaps join in dancing. What they discover is dancing is really ageless, and it's a wonderful way to stay integrated with other people.
And that does it for this special holiday edition of Connecting Point. Remember, you can always find all of the stories that you saw in this episode, as well as exclusive features, digital-only content, and so much more online anytime at nepm.org/connectingpoint. Our thanks to Old Sturbridge Village for hosting us today. And please be sure to join us again every week right here for more stories of the creativity, culture, and community that make us Western New England. I'm Saidalis Bauer. Thanks for watching and happy holidays.
Support for Connecting Point is provided by our contributing viewers.
It came upon the midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touch their hearts of gold.
Connecting Point on NEPM is brought to you by Berkshire Museum, presenting Winter Festival Solstice Celebration, featuring Santa classics by Philadelphia-based artist Ed Wheeler and Hoots Holiday, an immersive Berkshire storybook experience. More information at berkshiremuseum.org.
The Social Security Act of 1935 is passed.
A Saturday night tradition returns to NEPM.
Yes, you're correct.
Play along with us during the new season of Ask Schools Match Wits,
We'll take world events.
premiering January 7th on NEPM, or stream anytime at nepm.org.
Celebrate the spirit of the season.
It's a boy.
Just what I wanted for Christmas. Watch a marathon of cool midwife holiday episodes.
Ho, ho, ho. Happy Christmas.
Leading to an all-new holiday special.
Cyril, it's snowing.
We have much to be grateful for.
A Call the Midwife Holiday Special Marathon begins Sunday at 1:30.
There are probably two things you can tell about me right away. First, I love this time of year. Second, I don't have great taste. But not you. You have exceptional taste because you're watching NEPM. And all the great programs you see on NEPM are made possible by viewers like you. So don't let NEPM go extinct. Make a year-end contribution at nepm.org. Thank you, and Happy New Year.
American Masters spotlights a bromance for the ages.
Isn't he cute?
From their early beginnings
I wanted to impress Groucho any way I could.
to those late-night swoons.
Oh, Lydia, say, have you met Lydia?
Discover their enduring friendship through rare clips and interviews.
Do you think we have him in the palm of our hand?
I think so, yes.
See Groucho and Cabot
And then the dream began.
on American Masters.
Meet Groucho and Cabot Tuesday at 8 on NEPM. You're watching New England Public Media on WGBY Springfield.
We make a good team.
As long as we're together, it's perfect.
Surviving Siegfried.
You're the most ridiculous creature.
I hope you're referring to the dog. I'm not going to give up on you. Don't give up on me either.
Dreams do come true. Hey, lad?
Seems they do.
All Creatures Great and Small returns January 8th on NEPM. Local broadcast of This Old House Hour on NEPM is brought to you by Wright Builders, celebrating 50 years of institutional, commercial, and residential construction in Western Massachusetts, committed to ending reliance on fossil fuels, lowering operational energy usage, and reducing embodied carbon. Wright-Builders